Hey guys, it's Jonathan from Wrestling Talking the Shop, and it is Friday, September 1st, and we are going to spend an evening with Kevin Von Erich. Not just us, there's going to be a whole lot of other people there too. But it is currently 1:58 in Texas. I don't know if you can see that. There's Lindsay. Say hi, Lindsay.
Hey.
And we're driving down the road filming a video. How safe is that? But we're going to take you along. We're going to see what we can get into before we get there tonight, and maybe do a little here and there, and we're going to take y'all along. Stay tuned. Thanks. There it is, guys. The world famous Hutchins barbecue, located in McKinney, Texas. Bro, you want to do?
I think they're building on a new building. That's how good this place is.
If you're ever in the area.
If you're in McKinney, this is the place to go.
Definitely stop by. It's worth it. Hey guys, there it is. The barbecue itself. That's jalapeno cheddar sausage. It's to die for. There's the brisket. She got macaroni. I didn't get anything but onions and peppers. How is it, Lindsay? There she is. Von Erich t-shirt and all.
That banana pudding down there got. You will not be disappointed. This is the best banana pudding. This is like a commercial for this place.
Or something. I don't know. It's really good. But anyway, let's start on here. We'll pop on here and show you the banana puddings. Hey guys, this is Jonathan again. We're gonna pop in here at the Goodwill, see if we can find any wrestling merchandise. And I'm also looking for bookshelves, so we're gonna pop in here and I'm gonna bring you guys along, see what we can find.
Chair, that's cool. That was $179. Let's see. Here's this bookshelf. How much is that? Here's a little bookshelf. That's kind of cute.
I don't think you could even do that. Let's take out that line.
Oh, somebody already took it.
It's a pretty good picture.
Sure is. Already sold. They sold it cheap. Here's another one, John. Oh, I gotta see if there's any wrestling toys.
Batista. Batista.
Is it a puzzle?
What do you got those?
What do you think about these? The 14s.
I think they're really long.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'll set them right up there. That's cute. Kids bag though. $20 ago.
You ready?
You can see how much the tiger was. Yeah. Well,
we didn't buy anything in there. No bookshelves. No wrestling toys. So stay with us and see what we can find. Hey guys, we're gonna send Lindsay in here and see if she can sell something to Play It Again Sports, so we can get some figure money.
Maybe a t-shirt.
And you might ask why I'm sending Lindsay, because I'm scared of people. And I told her, just take whatever they offer, cash. And because I'm not interested in getting, there's a parking spot there.
There's one right there.
That's another business, so they don't want you parking.
Oh,
you're not
okay.
going in the flower shop, you're going in to Play It Again Sports.
Okay.
You gotta be polite in this world. Make sure it's a busy area.
Yeah. Well.
And we're
Beauty salon, stuff like that. A lot of places over here.
be sure and carry your ID. We've sold stuff at Play It Again Sports. We'll do anything. We'll sell plasma to buy wrestling stuff.
You might. He says we very loosely.
We're here. I'm not even going in the store. There it is. Lug your tackle dummy in there.
Yeah.
Bring me back some cash. Well, there she is. She ain't got no. What'd you get? How much did you get?
$40.
$40. That's pretty good for something that was sitting around in the garage. We were gonna throw it away, and I just happened to throw it in the truck. Okay, guys, we'll see if we can spend this $40 today. $40 is better than a trash can. All right, guys, we got $40 burning a hole in our pocket, and we're in a big city, so we're gonna check out Target.
See if they got any new wrestling figures.
I really want that 4-pack that then now and forever.
You can get half of it for that.
Yeah.
Let's see what's in the wrestling aisle. D-Lo Brown. Ultimate Warrior. That one seems different. Is that different?
What? Oh, that'd make it.
Maybe I just didn't notice.
Hello.
Take her.
I got him for $13 over there. Let's see what.
Roman, Taker, another Brother Love. That's what we're wanting. No such luck though. There's Wardlow. Jake. Jade, she's like body goals.
I guess we're gonna spend our $40 here. Nothing I really need.
Keep it $40 after all, I guess.
There's a Walmart right across the street.
This one's on clearance. Wonder what it's on clearance for.
Oh, yeah.
I had to go scanning.
Oh, let's go scan. Look for the question mark.
Oh, those are cool. Our son would like that. He likes big dinosaurs. So it's right around in here somewhere. Tamagotchi. Oh, this one's not working. There's one up ahead. 15% off.
I bet he's not on clearance.
It's got his clearance sticker on
I
it.
have this.
I don't think you do.
I don't know. Let's go
I don't know. Maybe he's not on clearance.
We'll go check out this Pop Hero.
Funkos.
Yeah.
No.
This is pretty new, Warrior.
I thought it looked like a different outfit on him. Swim stuff on clearance. Here we go.
Here's that Hogan, the cash grab, the Funko cash grab.
The one of each.
And there's Mr. T. Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Hogan. Are they $11.99 a piece?
I doubt it. I think these are $11.99 though.
That's false. They're probably on price right.
All right, guys. Pick back up with us at Walmart.
See if Walmart's got anything.
Stop number 2. We're gonna check and see if we can blow that 40 bucks here. I'm looking for that new WWE Superstars Hulk Hogan, or just something new I don't have. I know they got a new Harley race out. We're gonna go in and check it out.
Squishmallows. Somebody have been following, been looking for some Harry Potter ones. Oh, they got a big display. She's new. Well, no, 97. Not that new.
Looking for that.
It's on there.
Which one's the Chase? Look for one that.
Happy Corbin. There's Hulkster. Dusty. Stone Cold. Undertaker. Eric Bischoff.
Got all this stuff that I want. Let's check out the main out.
You got Cowboy Brock.
Let's go. You show me.
I am. There's Jimmy hiding out in the Pokemons. Got some new dinosaurs.
Oh, this is good. I've never seen this. What series is he from?
12. Jamie Hayter, she knew. Her packaging's all messed up.
John Moxley.
Do they have blocks on this thing? Oh no, I guess it's just their new displays. Kind of get in the way though. There's Tay.
See Dax Harwood or
There's Cena. Nash Carter. I don't. First time in the line. I don't even know who it is. Is he on NXT?
yeah.
I don't really keep up with that. I can't see who it is. Oh, Anna J. MJF. Ah!
Oh. Check it out. I believe we did it. No fucking show. Oh, pardon my language.
Bro,
Van. Yeah.
There's some stuff up top.
What do you say? Anything good?
I can't really tell. See if you can see them.
Brace
Maybe.
yourself.
Whoops. Oh, nobody good. Jimmy. I already seen one of him. There's Wesley.
I need his tag team partner.
There's Dax. You're looking for him.
I know I need Cash Wheeler, the gunslinger. You know, you got
It's Gunslinger. You just left old Jamie over here on the floor. Get her picked up.
yeah, pretty good selection.
British Bulldog. Do you have that one?
Yeah, I've got that one already.
Who they got in the Ultimates? Eddie and Ray. We already bought them. Lesnar. Who else is back there? Or is that more? No, that's Ray.
Another.
Oh no, there's Alexa.
She's gotta be on clearance. She's been out a while.
This one's pretty cool. We already picked that one up though.
Did we not find Cash Wheeler?
No, unless he's... I didn't really look through here. Stu Grayson. Do you have him? MJF. Santana. Evil Uno. JKR. Akira Shido. Adam Page, MJF. John Moxley.
Where's the other private party guy? That's the first new AEW I've seen for a long time.
We're just raiding all the shelves. Superstars.
That one kind of looks like Hulk Hogan right there.
I got a bunch of them right there. They got a lot of wrestling figures here.
Yeah.
Here's some, those are some more wrestling figures right there, ain't it?
What?
Right there by the groups.
Yeah. Take them to visit. Nobody.
Edge,
Bray Wyatt.
Bray Wyatt, Mankind, and Warrior.
Alright. We're gonna set them right there. They sell stuff.
Oh, those Roman, and
Solo?
that's somebody else. This top one's not Roman.
Yeah.
Oh. We're gonna pick this up. Don't worry. I can't reach it.
Who is it?
Oh, it's Jimmy. Okay.
I really want the other deck or the other cash.
Go ahead and stock them for him. Knock them down.
Who should we get, Lindsay? RVD or Brock Lesnar?
I would go with RVD. But that's
Where should we get both? I think I got a Brock Ultimate. I don't know. Stephanie.
maybe a clearance China. It's looking kind of rough.
She sure is. And Trish
Her and
Stratus.
Trish. It's been roughed up a little bit.
You want to go check out the clearance off?
What you gonna do? You gonna get Brock or no?
Yeah, I can basically get one of these for nothing because I think hell I'll get both of them. Because you know we sold that wheel.
Oh, fix it like this.
All right, you ready to go check out the clearance off?
Anyways, they got some other cool toys too.
Here's another Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, I saw him a while ago. He was hiding over here in the...
Let's go check out the clearance off.
I need to get a girl's birthday present.
What are you gonna get her for her
For
birthday?
Clara.
For Claire.
Her birthday party's Sunday. We're going to it.
You're going to it? Wow.
Ooh, look.
What?
Those are cheap.
Wintertime. Oh, it's gonna be wintertime.
I know.
What do we need a
I want one like we used to have.
That wouldn't even fit in
That
our
would fit
backyard.
in our backyard.
Let's
Too-
cut
the
this.
shape was too weird. Cheap though. They had the one I wanted at another Walmart, but I just don't want to deal with it.
Garage sale this way. Where are you going to the birthday party?
Sunday.
Wow.
Go swimming.
You just going just to go swimming?
Something to do. I don't know. We might not. They always invite us and we usually never get to go. Oh, here we go. Nope, that one won't fit right back
You
there.
don't need no swimming pool.
Wonder
Who
what
is this?
these are.
Is that Jay Uso?
No, I don't know who that is. These are cheap.
Come on, let's go over and check it. This way, Mom.
Let's see what's on the clearance.
Where this is.
Might have to call my son. See if he wants any of these.
Check this out.
I'm coming. Undertaker with the Black Panther tape on. I don't think he was an Undertaker.
It's a repack.
I know, they repackaged it wrong.
$5.
I should get this for Conway. He would like that. It'd be cute.
I'm thinking about which one should I get? The Black Panther Undertaker or the action? Why is the Black Panther Undertaker $5.25, but the one with the right card is $5?
Well, you know, they obviously did that themselves.
Somebody brought that back.
There's a Baroness. $10.
You should get that for Rex.
Yeah, I think he would like that.
Grab it. Sure. Well, let's go check out.
But if you get one for one, you gotta find a toy for the other.
The other two are gone. They won't even know.
Oh yeah, they're Mimi's. We're in kid-free weekend. Never happens.
You coming?
Yeah.
You're slow as Christmas.
All right. Okay, back
I
on.
don't need any more. I already got Sting.
Sting for how much though?
$11.
Pretty cheap.
Looked like they went over 10. All right, you ready?
All right, let's go check out. Go.
Well, for $90 for really wasn't planning on buying any Ultimates, but we did. We'll review them on the channel. Still looking for that Then, Now, and Forever pack. It's not, I haven't seen it in Texas. I know people on Facebook and YouTube are getting it, but I haven't had any luck getting it yet. And on the Target website, I don't know if they pushed it back or, you know, I'm never one of those guys that gets lucky. But the Play It Again Sports, I basically like getting one figure for free. Thanks.
Use the right lane to take the exit to Dallas North Tollway South.
This is Frisco, Texas, where you gotta pay to drive on the roads.
Yeah.
They're getting the skyline buildings like Dallas now.
Follow signs for Dallas North Tollway.
Yeah, talk loud, talk over the GPS.
MC Sweets over yonder. They have a really good breakfast.
Yeah. The Dallas Cowboys headquarters is somewhere
Keep
over
left
there.
at the Fort.
Star.
Let's go that way.
Yeah, it's that way.
If you take this road and go that way, you'll see it real shortly. Not very far.
If you are a Cowboys fan, I'm a Cowboys fan. Even though they break my heart every year, I still, one of these days,
We're still holding out that they're going to be good again.
I was thinking about this the other day, that there are people that are grown that never seen the Cowboys win a Super Bowl. And I mean, they used to be good back in the day.
Well, the last one.
Never again. But anyway, we're gonna go have an evening with Kevin Von Erich. There'll be other people there with us, but
we're not the only one.
yeah, that would cost a lot more money than we spent, you know, I'm sure.
Yeah, we can't afford them tickets. Although I did, I was a little bit worried about him showing up since he's the...
Yeah, he was supposed to be on the Fox 4 News, and
He no-showed him.
he no-showed him, but he'll show up. I mean, he wasn't.
Didn't you say he was supposed to be on the radio too?
Yeah, he was supposed to be on a Dallas radio station, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, and he didn't. I don't think he made that, but he'll be here. I got faith.
Oh yeah.
He's not gonna let us Texans down. The Von Erich Nation.
Yep.
We're gonna have to get back. It's gonna be a long night. I gotta go home and watch SmackDown. John Cena returns tonight.
Oh yeah.
I read where he's gonna be. He's back with the WWE for 2 months. You know, I don't know what that gets him. You know, big weekend for wrestling. Payback tomorrow, and Sunday is all out. You know, all in, all out. You know, we're gonna be broke out.
Our cable bill's gonna be sky high.
Yeah. I always buy it on traditional cable because BR Live it freezes a lot for me.
Yeah, every time we rented one there, it doesn't do well.
Yeah. And,
It gets like stuck, and then you're watching it behind the audio.
but
So,
there's a Lexus dealership.
yeah, if you need a Lexus.
You need to show me.
I'm sure they can. Yes, I am. You can see it.
Acura dealership.
Don't listen to him.
Well, I'm calling it out and you're not showing it. Mercedes-Benz of Plano. They might want a Mercedes-Benz and they don't know where to go.
They might not know where to go. Windhaven Parkway. In case you're wondering. Probably Google it.
Yeah. And,
There's a farm in the middle of it.
it's not a farm. That's a tax. They got that farm equipment out there for their
That farm's probably been there forever.
That's
They just
for their
built all this
property
around
taxes.
there.
That land is for sale, and they have that farm equipment there for property taxes.
Smart. Cinemark.
Yeah.
That's a big
Well,
one.
that's a big old movie theater.
There's like their headquarters, and then there's a movie theater right beside it. Stay in your lane.
Yeah, stay in the lane. Don't have a break. Make a YouTube video.
Yeah, pay attention. Yeah, it must be their office, and then
Yeah.
there's the movies. Anyways, a lot of headquarters around here.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Pepper, 7-Up, Frito-Lay. There's a lot. This is
A lot.
a big booming area for,
Industry.
Texas. But anyway, stay tuned and we'll see if we can get some of Kevin Von Erich's evening, or our evening with Kevin Von Erich.
And other people.
And other people. And David Manning's going to be there. Stay tuned, folks.
Oh, diners and, well, not diners, but restaurants.
There's 7-Eleven.
There's another 7-Eleven on every corner. Look at that building. Tall
You
building.
think we can go left here?
Yeah, you can.
It's a big old dog.
Be
They can
careful.
stop.
Nope, they're not.
Okay. That's. Get out of the way. Where is that thing? I don't remember where
We'll
it's
put
at.
back in there.
Well, you really don't.
It's
It's like
past this light. Keep going up.
Is it past this other light?
It should be around this next one.
So we're just looking for that parking lot.
Yeah.
Head east on Pacific Avenue toward
Yeah,
North
it's this.
Harwood Street.
It's this one.
In 400 feet, turn right onto North Harwood Street. Take the next right onto North Harwood Street, then turn right onto Elm Street.
So what's it say?
There we go. Oh, I know. Usually it's pay. Still a paid thing.
In 600 feet, turn right onto South Pearl Street.
Where do you pay at?
Here's the Majestic.
Ready?
Yeah.
You were a pig, but we appreciate your business. I think I found it. It's right back here somewhere. This is the most amazing thing, though. Just a week and a half ago, I discovered the most remarkable diet ever. I was watching the news on CNN, and now I realize that I actually weigh only 215 pounds. Apparently this entire front section is made up of all Republicans down here. I'll wait for the rest of you, I'll wait for the rest.
Yes, I am.
I mean, this is the amazing thing. We are at the Majestic Theater tonight, ladies and gentlemen, because Kevin Von Erich has moved back from Hawaii to Texas. Kevin moves back from Hawaii to Texas, and he gets a full crowd to come out to the Majestic Theater to honor him, and I get this cheap-ass, ugly Hawaiian shirt. But after having dinner last night at Javier's with Jordan Poole, the promoter of this event, J.R. Schulman, who had put this all together, David Manning, a former referee, and of course Kevin himself, we're at Javier's. They started telling the Von Erich stories, and based on what I heard last night, we may not get out of here until close to closing time. So what do you say we get this thing started? And at one time, the youngest referee ever in world-class championship wrestling, David Manning, ladies and gentlemen. So you were there from the beginning with the Von Erichs. Did you think that 40 years later, we would still be talking about the Von Erichs? Thank you. Why don't you come on up here and answer all the questions?
You know, I would say these people know how popular the Von Erichs were. It's going to live on a lot longer than tonight. And I was just blessed and lucky enough to be along for the ride. You know, a lot of people tell the story. There's two people left alive that live the story. That's me and Kevin.
That's one of the real tragedies of this story. You were working for Fritz Von Erich.
Yep.
And you were the guy, for the one or two people in the room who don't know, Kevin's dead. But you were the guy who actually told him that his son had died in Japan. Tell me how that went down.
You know, back in those days, we all had the National Wrestling Alliance. Japan was all Japan Pro Wrestling. And so we had a little book that told who all the promoters and booker was. And representing Dallas was myself and Ken Mantell at the time as bookers. And my phone rings at like 2 a.m. in the morning, which is never good. And I pick the phone up and I say hello, and a voice says, David Manning, Joe Higuchi, All Japan Pro Wrestling. David Von Erich dead. And I'm like, so I immediately think it's a prank. And I'm like, wait, what? David Von Erich dead now? I said, Joe, hang up, I'll call you back. And I go in and get the little book, and I look up All Japan Pro Wrestling. I dial long distance to Japan, call the office, and they answered, and I said, is Joe Higuchi there? And they put him on the phone, and I said, Joe, it's David. And he says, David Von Erich's dead. And he said, I'll call. I said, don't call anyone, I'll handle it from here. And so at that time, Fritz was building a new home up in Edom, close to Tyler. And I didn't want to call on the phone, so I got in my car, and by the time I got there, it was just coming daylight, and Fritz was in the front. He had his motorhome down there. He was in the front. I could see him making coffee. And I got out of my car, and I walked to the door, and before I could even knock, he opened the door and looked at me and said, which one? And I think he knew something was wrong. He didn't know whether
He didn't think that they were necessarily dead, but he knew something bad.
Something bad for me to drive down and be there at daylight. And so I said, Fritz, can we sit down? And he said, no, tell me. I said, Fritz David's dead. And he stood there for a second. He asked me to come in, and we sat down, and he's like, what? And I said, Joe Higuchi called me. I don't know any details. And he kept looking at the bedroom. I knew Doris was asleep. And he said, I want you to go into Edom. You call Japan. You find out what happened to my boy. And he said, I got to talk to Doris.
I know that Fritz Von Erich was this incredibly strong and self-disciplined man. But how does any man handle burying 5 of his 6 sons?
You know, having Christ as your Savior.
Well, as you mentioned, Kevin is the only survivor of the 6 Von Erichs, and I believe that is our cue. That if people were old enough to be around the Dallas area in the 80s, and from looking at this crowd tonight, most of them obviously were. You guys were like the Beatles wrestling in your tighty whities. I mean, you were right. Before we do anything else, what made you guys think that wearing underpants into a ring was all the work you really did?
You might wonder what it's like to be a little boy or a teenage boy, and then it's time to go to the ring and put on, they look like underwear. You're practically naked on television in front of people. It's a lot of getting used to, you know. It took a lot, but I got used to it, and it was, you know, my dad did it, so if he can do it, I can do it.
I don't think they wanted him any other way.
I've seen the pictures, and it wasn't just the ladies that had a crush. By the way, I think I do have to ask the question I think it's on the minds of almost everybody here. Lee Joyner. Lee, where are you at? Lee, yeah. She wanted to know why you didn't move to Dallas when you came back to Texas, but more importantly to me, I love Texas. I mean, I absolutely love Texas. And I've been to Hawaii. So making the decision to move from Hawaii to Texas, how many blows to the head did you take?
I'm telling you, I loved it. I really, that was just a beautiful life. The spearing on fish and throw your casting net, and all my boys do it. And it was beautiful. And I told you, I'd love to go down and spear lobster at night, or, you know, just lay on the bottom and be alone. I know it sounds crazy, but I just love it there. But, you know, I've been there 18 years, and I miss Texas so much. Hawaii doesn't have any mammals except a bat. A bat is the biggest mammal we have. There's no predator there. So they had a hawk. It's extinct now.
You know, I told this story last night.
Yeah, well, let me just set this up for you, because my point is, you love free diving, you did a lot of free diving. You told me last night you could hold your breath for like 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I can't shut up for 3 minutes. But if you love free diving so much, I mean, what are you going to do? Dive in a lake and go down like 7-8 feet here in Texas?
Well, actually, I kind of invented my own way to do it. It works for me. It may not for anybody else, but I'll take 4 tanks and I'll, you know, fill them, and I'll put them in different spots around my hunting ground there. And rather than take tanks down, you dive down and I'll take my breath, hold it. If I take a shot, then I'm giving my position away, so then I'll go to another tank, and to another tank, and another, and just leave them down there all day.
No.
Go, David. Yeah, tell the better version of that story.
So I go to Hawaii. I spent a week with Kevin. He said, tomorrow we'll go free diving. I said, and I like to scuba dive. I love it. I'm like, oh, okay. Next day I get up and I'm like, where's the tanks? And he's like, oh, the tanks are at the bottom of the ocean. I said, at the bottom of the ocean? He goes, yeah, we're going to take a breath. We're going to go down. And if you need another breath, you swim to a tank and you get a breath. If we see a big fish, we shoot it with a spear. Once we shoot it with a spear, the sharks are going to come. And he says, so we have to go up really fast. And I'm like, what if I need a breath? He goes, you have to make a choice.
All right, before we do anything else, let's help you get comfortable. I know you're dealing with your back, so you might have to get up and down a few times, but I know you don't like wearing shoes, so let's get our shoes off and make everybody comfortable.
I'm
the fascination with going barefoot? Let me see if I got this name right. Don, is it Don C. or Dan C? Dan, how many times have you broken your toes?
Oh, I think maybe 2 or 3 times. I don't know that much. I jam it a lot. But as far as a break, that toe was pretty stout. I've hit jamming enough times. I think it gets thicker and thicker. I've got feet that work. I can pick things up.
On the bottom of him, he's got a horseshoe shape where he had about 12 stitches where he kicked Buddy Roberts in the mouth. And we were afraid he was going to get rabies, so he had to get tetanus shot.
He said, "You're better off with him about Copperhead." Buddy had his second come and tell me that Buddy Roberts doesn't like to brush his teeth, and he said you should get that looked at. Oh, it was terrible. They had to cut all the stitches that the doc had put on that night and clean it out and stitch it up again. And they said, "It'd been better if you'd been better honestly."
You do have a couple of bones that I don't believe are supposed to be there. Well, give me a rundown of your injuries. And this might kill the entire show here, but give me a rundown of what happened to you inside that ring.
Oh boy. Well, you can get ready for anything. You name it, and I've heard it. Wrists, elbows, knees, everything gets hurt in wrestling. We used to have the doc come in, because a lot of times you're injured, and part of athletics is fighting through injury. Sometimes it was too much, and I would take a shot of xylocaine or procaine or xylocaine in my knees to deaden them but it's not a drug. It numbs the inside of your knee, the irritation part. But that was kind of just the way it is. But I went to one of Dale's golf tournaments one time for the Wednesday's Child. It was the weekend. The Texas Rangers for that weekend. Wednesday's Child golf tournament. That's such a great word. And so I went to go to the golf tournament. My dad told me as on the way, he said, if you limp, the people are going to think you can't wrestle. If they see you limping, and he said, so don't limp, And I had such a stone bruise, there was no way I could not limp. So I got that shot, and the doc told me right there. I said, how about it going to be, doc? And he said, like stepping on a nail in slow motion. And then it's all over finally, and I'm limping anyway because it didn't work.
Nobody knows this. We're at the sportatorium one night. I come from the ring. I come in and Kevin's sitting at the desk there, and I start shuffling some papers around, and he says, hands me up here a needle nose pliers. And he says, Dave, I can't stand it. You got to pull this tooth. And I'm like, I'm not pulling your tooth. He's like, Dave, you got to pull it. And so he starts messing around with it, and he crushes it. And so then he's like, Dave, you got to get the rest of it out. So Michael Hayes is in there, and he's doing this. And I'm over there plunking pieces of a tooth out of his gum. And he just sat there gripping the chair and not even showing that it's hurting.
My favorite part of one of the dinner stories we were telling last night with Javier is not only do the wrestlers inside the ring get hurt, the referees got hurt. Give me an idea of what happened to you, sir.
I had 3 broken ribs, thanks to Jeep Swinson. I had my collarbone dislocated. I had my nose broke twice.
Yeah, we can tell that.
I had 8 stitches underneath this eye in Abilene, where Killer Tim Brooks hit me with the chain. And it's just another evening at the Majestic.
And the time when they threw you over the top rope?
Yeah, the people out here probably saw this. I came in, and there's a bump you can take in wrestling where you go over the top rope and you grab the ropes and you twist your neck in the ropes. And it's very, very dangerous.
You're not really supposed to do that. That's the David Manning style.
So when I came in and Fritz asked me, could I take the bump? I said, sure, I can take it. And then I got out there, and it was the match in Fort Worth where it was Kevin and Kerry against Gene Gino and Chris Adams. And it was funny because I took the bump and I'm in the ropes and Mark Lawrence is jumping up, going crazy. He thinks I'm going to die and they're trying to get me out of the ropes and they get me out. And the next morning we had to shoot interviews at Channel 39. Well, the guys at Channel 39 had the tape and they had rewound it and they kept playing it in slow motion to see if they wanted to know did I do that on purpose. And so when I walk in, they're all doing this.
He was hanged in the ropes.
Kevin, as you look back at this, what do you think was the fascination with the Von Erichs? I mean, there were a lot of great personalities in wrestling. There have always been a lot of great personalities in wrestling, but I think the Von Erichs stand alone. Why?
Well, Dale, if you've watched our shows, I believe that the matches in world class seemed like they were just a quicker pace, more aggressive, and we worked harder. We just worked harder.
Well, and the other thing to that was, I think the fans will agree with this. The other thing to that was, as the boys were growing up, they were. Every time they would achieve something, Fritz would have them on TV, and so I think a lot of the fans almost felt like these boys were their family. And they watched them grow up, and so Kevin and I were talking backstage, and we told Dale, you'll remember I said this, we were talking last night, and we said, we don't just have fans, we have a family.
Speaking of, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Joe, I was going to tell Dale that too, that for back, this was 39 years ago that our show was on the air. Can you believe it was out long? 39 years. And so I told Dale, I said, I don't think these are necessarily, that we were wrestling fans at first, and that's where, you know, they love me, my brothers, but now after 39 years, they've seen me suffer, they've seen me try and fail and try, but then now to come out on the other side and they've hurt with me and they've loved me and loved with me, and that's what
let's talk about this family life a little bit. I saw your dad wrestle in Omaha when I was like 10, 11 years old. And he was doing that Nazi salute and stomping all over the ref. He'd be canceled by Tuesday if he tried to pull that down. But he was always the bad guy, but then you, as the sons, were always the good guy. What was the thinking and the process behind all of that?
Well, my dad was, you know, in wrestling, there's no middle ground. You're either one of the people who love you or hate you. And so my dad feared a Nazi was about the lowest character he could be. That's what he was. You know, he was a Nazi. He made it, you know, my dad was one kind of man until he lost his son, my big brother Jackie. When he was electrocuted, my father, I think he wanted to die, and he wanted to make everyone he wrestled suffer it too. But he wrestled such a wild and aggressive style. He was the top draw all over the world. And we thought he was great. But my brothers and I would watch him wrestle, and when the good guy would start beating him, we'd hold our fingers in our ear and look down and say, "Tell me when Dad's winning, I can't take it." You know, we couldn't look. But the people saw us, like I said, grow up on television, and it was just, I think they looked at us like they saw us grow up. We weren't pretending anything. We wanted to be like our dad. We wanted to do our best, and the people saw that it was natural. Organic.
Was there ever a time, or was there ever any possibility that you could have done or been anything other than a wrestler? To be anything, was there ever a time when you could have done anything else or been anything but a wrestler?
Well, I used to wash dishes at Duck Inn.
Phenomenal football player. Running back, punter, went to North Texas.
I've got some teammates out here tonight. I can't see old Rex Glendenning, but I know he's buddies out there. He's my good buddy. I remember sitting with Rex. Rex has been with me some hard times, and he's a good friend. But now he's the biggest real estate man in the area out in Salina and all over to death. I hope you're out there, Rex, and all my buddies. I'm messing with you guys.
But you give your dad a great deal of credit for molding who you guys became.
Definitely so. Our house was all about Vince Lombardi, quotes everywhere about a winner never quits, a quitter never wins, to react is to win, to hesitate is to lose. So we used to do everything here with guts. We loved sports. We loved football. My whole life I had football in my hand, and I couldn't wait to get to the NFL. That's what I thought I was going to do. But I got to North Texas and one knee surgery after another, that it was just, I was going to jeopardize my wrestling career. See, in wrestling, you can shoot your knees behind you and go to your belly, but in football, everything is directed at your knee blocks and tackles. So the writing was on the wall. I had to get out of wrestling and get out of football. And I'm glad I did it. I think this is what God had for me.
Was there any jealousy among the brothers as a group? I mean, you jealous of Carrie or Carrie jealous of you? Any of that?
Not really. No, we loved each other so much. And
Yeah,
really glad.
I never saw any. Never.
I don't think so, though.
What about, you had to run into the bully at school that thought he was tougher than the Von Erichs, didn't you? Give me your fighting history before you got into the ring.
When I was in junior high school, I got beat up every day. It's like little brothers, and when you fight my little brother, they're going to fight me. And if y'all can remember back to the 80s, we used to fight. It was just the way it was. It was just a tough life. I remember one time, if I was watching that clock, when 3:30 comes, I'm going to get beat up again, and I'm watching that on 3:20, So this one time, this guy beat me up every day now, so I picked up a rock. She hits me, and I have a rock, and I had it done. Well, bad idea. He took it away and kicked my ass for it. But I at least had some pride. He said, now get up and run away. I said, I think I'll walk. What's I get through?
David, tell the story that you were telling about the other fight with the car, the one with the car where they stopped the car.
Oh, where they? No, yeah.
Drag the kid out.
Yeah. So we go to This was when Kerry was playing football. He was a senior. Me, Kevin, Dave go over to Lake Dallas to watch him, and we get there, and so at halftime we go across to a store, and as we're crossing the street, here comes a Mustang comes flying up, and he just slams on his brake, like we're trying to jump back. Well, Kev's like, what's wrong with you? He's yelling at him, this and that. And so the guy jumps out, he's ready to fight and everything, and so Kevin's looking at him like, come on, you want to go? You want to go? So Dave, there's another guy in the car. So Dave looks at him and says, what are you looking at? So Dave goes around and yanks the door open, and he grabs the guy to yank him out of the car, but when he yanks him out, he doesn't have any legs.
So Dave puts him, he said, get him away, and Dave looked over that dog and snapped him on the snout and said, bad dog! He lost twice.
So when you would come home from a schoolyard fight or some such thing, if you lost, was the reaction any worse from Fritz than if you had won? Or, did he take pride that you beat the kid up, or did he slap you around for losing? Carrie were riding around, you got your driver's license, and you took him for a drive, and he had the BB gun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, go. I'll just be over here waiting for the end of this one, go.
I have to tell the story about this, but I wish I know. Kerry was such a beautiful person. He was just full of fun and loved everybody. He was a gift. But toward the very end, I never George involved. But this is when we were little. Everything he did was cute. The girls loved him, the babysitters loved him, the teachers loved him, and he had something funny to say all the time. But we had picked this guy up, and he was a kid. I went to junior high school. I just got my driver's license. And so we see Barry walking along. We said, "Come in." Barry had his BB gun. He'd been hunting, so we get in, and we're driving along, and we start shooting mailboxes with the shooting reflectors, And so Barry shoots a car windshield. She's his wife. I said, "Oh, man." And so, and when it happened, one of the late Dallas service trucks saw it and came after us and chased us, and we lost them in the woods, but they found us later. And we almost, we were in trouble, and the adults were like, "Well, are you sure these are the ones?" And it looked like them. And so I heard my dad say, "If my sons don't lie to me, and if they say they didn't do it, then they damn well didn't do it." Oh boy, when I heard that, I ran the car and said, "Dad, we did it."
Carrie told them they didn't do it first.
Yeah, Carrie had already said, Carrie had already told Dad, "No, Dad, we did not do it." We never gave our word. God taught us a man is only as good as his word, and you don't break that word. You don't give it.
So you admitted that you did.
Yeah. So Dad, when I told Dad we did it, he looked right over at Carrie and said, "Carrie, come here." And me and Dad, we're trying to get some change. He's looking right at Dad. And he comes up and says, "Carrie, did y'all do any of this?" I go, "No, sir." They were trying to get him out of it, but it was.
Carrie and I used to go up, he would ride with me a lot when we'd go to the shows, So Carrie and I, when we go down the road, if we saw a bridge, Carrie liked to gamble, I liked to gamble, we'd make a bet on the numbers. How high was the bridge? 12'4", 12'6", and we would bet whoever's closest won, whatever we were betting, $5, $10. So I had to go to Killeen, and the very next week we were going to go again, and we did that demonstration. They let us drive the tanks and everything down at Fort Hood. Well, anyway, I'm going down there, and I know next week I got Carrie coming with me. So in my car, I'm writing down all of the exact measurements of the bridge, every bridge as it came. So the next week, Carrie gets in the car, and here we go. First bridge is coming up. I said, "What do you think?" He guessed, and I said, I'm looking at my notes, and I'm like, we go back, "God, they can hit right on it." And I'm like, "Yeah." Well, he's down about $100. And he goes, "You've hit the last 6 right on the number." And he goes, "You're cheating." I confessed and didn't make him pay.
He dragged you out. Well, it is a bit of a downer, but I think we have to address it. You are the only surviving brother.
Yeah.
I talked to David very briefly about how your dad handled having to bury 5 of his 6 sons. How did you deal with all of that?
Oh boy. Well, I have to tell you, excuse me, I'm a little stiff, and I'm going to keep moving her back to freezes over. But when Dave died, it was like a blow to me that I really never got over, to tell the truth. And then after that, when Mike died, and then Carrie, it was just like this again, and it was really tough, as tough as it could get. And for those 10 years, it was one after another. And it was one thing to, listen, I'm a Christian. I love God with all my heart. He saved me and lifted me away to God. And so I know what I know. And I want to tell everybody, but I don't want to beat them over the head, But I have a responsibility. Hell is it's a long time, eternity. And so during all of this, I was with my buddy Rich, and I said, we were talking one day, and I told him that it's like God is cruel to me. And I was at I was asking him, I say anything to God. I said that, and I felt like I know I've gone too far. And I went home, and I was reading in Jeremiah 30. You'll look it up when you get home. But it said, when you cry out, I've struck you with the blows of an enemy. My arrows are sharp. And words like this to me, and it crushed me. I mean, it crushed me inside. And I suffered. And I took a knife, and I opened my Bible on Jeremiah, and I cut my finger with it. There's my blood. You want it? It was my worst time. But if you'll read all of Jeremiah, God lifted me up. And the happiest life I could imagine right now. I play with grandchildren all day. And not only that, my daughter Kristen is a Hanai parent. In Hawaii, we have a word called Hanai. And it's for parents that can raise children that, if their parents maybe don't have the financial resources or something, and we've had hundreds of kids come through our home, and every one of them we love. They love us so much, and it's just a beautiful life. And these are kids that have been taken from a parent from CPS, and a lot of it, you guys wouldn't believe. I said, Kristen, how many of these kids are here because of this meth, this crystal meth? And I said, 70, 80%? She said, no, Daddy, all of them. That's a problem out there, but we have these kids, and we have such love in our home. It's with God ruling above us. There's no better feeling to just say, no, I don't worry about dying. I don't worry about holding a mask on my face so I don't get a disease or whatever. So I think somebody that believes in God, that loves God, looks at death completely different than somebody who's godless, and they must be terrified of dying.
There was a great story, well, not necessarily a great story, the outcome was great, obviously, but you did have that low point where you did think about taking your own life. No. Close or not close?
No, I knew that the devil wanted that. He hates, he kills, he takes, steals, and destroys. And so the last thing I do is kill myself, because that's what it can do.
And one last one, not quite as unfortunate as your family, but the legendary wrestler Terry Funk died last week at the age of 79. Wrestled for about 50 of those 79 years. So I'm thinking that had to be a rather interesting life he had, wasn't it?
He's one of the best.
He was
one of the best.
He was one of the best champions.
Yeah.
When, I say this, I like Rick, but Dory Race was right up there with Ric Flair. But Dory and Terry Funk, I thought were better champions. They were like scientists in their time. Got personally in the 70s, but man, Terry Funk was a force.
A lot of you may not know, but anybody here remember Luthez? Luthez was the champion back in the 50s and 60s, and he was the only champion that would literally take all comers. It didn't matter if you were in the business or not. When he would go into a town, if they had a badass that thought they could get in the ring with him, he would allow it. Well, we found out years later, we had a guy that worked with us when I first got to business named Bulldog Danny Fletches. And Fletch, he would grab you by the shoulder and he'd make you want to cry just with his grip. And so Fletch traveled with Lou Thez. And he told me this story one time. He says, we would go into a town, and if we really thought they had a ringer, and Thez had any doubt at all, we'd make him fight me the night before, and I'd beat the hell out of him. And then Thez would beat the hell out of what was left.
Kevin, you mentioned Ric Flair, maybe one of the most well attended matches. 42,000 42,000 at Texas Stadium. Kerry beat Ric Flair for the championship that night, which I believe is the last time the Cowboys won anything there in 10 years. Maybe that Von Erich curse that carried over for the next day. But what was it like when you sit there and you see 42,000 people jamming their way into Texas Stadium for those matches?
It was a great feeling because everybody there was there. But, Dave had just died, and it was just like an act of love. Everybody was almost like this. It was a great day, and to have a victory like that, Kerry to get it was just great. I'm telling you, there was really no competition. We didn't feel that at all, really. I was so glad for him.
You know, Fritz, when we did the promo for it, when we first started, Fritz went out, and we're doing it in August. And so Fritz makes the comment, we started talking about tape, and Fritz says, well, we're looking at late night in August, and as it gets late, you might even want to bring a light wrap, and and so when we get there, it's like the hottest day of the year. In the ring, they had a thermometer, it was 117 degrees with the lights and everything. And so after about the fifth match, people were sweating and they're panting. I went back and Fritz is talking to someone, and I went in and I said, hey Fritz, thank God you had them bring the wraps, they're carrying people out on them. Shut up, he said.
What were the ticket prices for that big event?
We had a meeting to decide should we charge $25 or $30 ringside.
$25 ringside.
And we charged $30, and then what happened was the scalpers came to the sportatorium and bought up all of the first 8 rows. And Fritz was so mad, he was like, we're not selling to them anymore. And we're like, well, what are we gonna do? I mean, one, we didn't know who they were. And so then we put a limit on how many you could buy, but we found out the ringside seats went for $100.
Oh. That they had bought for
that they bought from the scalpers.
You know, when I mentioned at the very beginning here about you guys being rock stars in Dallas and certainly Texas, but it was worldwide. I mean, Japan obviously, but your trips to Israel just fascinate me. I mean, Von Erich in Israel. Von Erich in Israel. But they turned out, did they not? They turned out.
Dave, you want to talk about that? I don't want to sound like a punk.
No.
But
Kevin doesn't like to tell it. When Kevin was on
do it for him. Do it for him, Dave.
Kevin went on the first tour to Israel, and it was crazy how it came about. Our tape was going on over there because of Channel 39, CBN. And so I had a guy call me named Avi, and he said, hey, I want to bring wrestling. So I went in and told Fritz, I said, hey, I think we can do the match in Israel. And he goes, oh yeah, right. Make a deal. And he gave me a figure, and I got like 3 times the figure for us to show up, first class tickets, all this over there. And so Kev, I didn't go on the first tour, Kev goes. And he won't say it. He started, when they landed, there was about 30,000 people there on the tarmac. And none of this is a lie. And then, when they were making appearances, so many people were coming, the government came to the hotel and told Kev, you can't make any more appearances. People aren't going to work. And then, when they had to go from Haifa, and it's the same way on the second tour, when me and Kerry went. We came from Haifa to Tel Aviv, and people are lined up on the side of the highway all the way. Kev knows it's true. Waving just to wave at the cars when we go by. And they take me, Kerry, and Sunshine go to a park where we're expecting 500 people to sign autographs. And so we get there, and the people keep coming, and they keep coming, and they keep coming, and pretty soon there's about 15,000 there. And we're in this little puppet thing, little stage, and so Kerry, there's a muscle guy, and he's got the weights, they really don't weigh anything, but he's like, and he's looking at Kerry like, look how strong I am. So Kerry just takes him and picks him up, And so the people get excited and they start pushing. And then here comes what we would call here in the U.S. the SWAT team, and they grab us I'm trying to grab Sunshine because people are just going nuts and they're just trying to grab and clutch. So I've got Sunshine and we're going, and they take us in the back and we go underground into these, I'm telling you, tunnels that are probably half as high as this stage. And we're going through the tunnels, and then we come up, and they literally put us in like what we would call an Apache helicopter, and fly us back over, land us close to the hotel, and let us out. Same thing, no more appearances.
I've gotten a letter from a little Palestinian girl, and thank goodness I read that one, and I was to come from Israel, I believe she was little Netanya, and I was so glad to get a letter from Israel, those chosen people, that I wrote her back, and I did all I could to get a show going on in Israel. We did get it. It was this, Dad sent me over there by myself, and I met everybody that could be on the government station, and they just let me say anything, and I did. They're real politically correct over there. You know, they didn't want me to say a word about Palestinians or Jews, you know, or any of the graffiti that was on the wall, some in English, you know. Well, I did it anyway. And it was, you know, the people seemed like they all agreed with me, and it just took off. And, I'm known as a conservative voice in this room now, but I have so many good friends over there.
And after we go into Israel twice, I'm at home one Saturday morning, my phone rings. I pick it up, his voice says, "Mr. Manning?" I said, "Yes." "My name is Prince Ali. My dad is King Abdullah. I'm going to school in the United States. Who won the Von Erich match last night?" And I'm like, "This is the real Prince." He said, "Yes." And he told me the school he went to. And I said, well, so I told him. And every Saturday morning my phone would ring, and it's Prince Ali. And now his brother is the king. But Kevin will tell you, for the longest time we had an open invite to come to the palace in Jordan and stay as a guest of the king.
Well, there was another part of this Israel trip involving Chris Adams. I'm still trying to figure out, in all my exhaustive research that you know I have done, obviously, Chris Adams was the good guy or the bad guy in Israel here?
Well, it depends on it. It was alcohol, Chris Adams. In this case, I don't know exactly what happened. I was at the Babyface Hotel, and Chris was staying, you know, over with the Hills, and he got in an argument over making a phone call to the United States with the guy that worked the bar, and everybody remembers the super kick. It's the real deal. And Chris got mad and he kicked the guy with a super kick, and the way it hit him, it caused the guy's eye to come out. Literally.
The eye popped out of his head.
The eye came right out of his head. It's hanging down. But unfortunately, Chris didn't stop there. By the time they called me, by the time I got over there, you know, they've already taken the guy in the ambulance, and they're telling me the story. And so I take Chris back to the hotel with me. And then when we would go into Israel, they would take our passports and lock them up. So it just so happened, you know, they had like their tribe, and they were like, no pun intended, but this tribe believed in an eye for an eye. So we get back to the hotel, and Avi says, "You got to get him out of here tonight." And I'm like, so I made some phone calls, and we got it booked, and I'm like, "How do I get the passport?" And he's like, "Well, I can't give it to you. I think it might be by the safe tonight or after 6. Maybe. So literally, I go down, and there's nobody at the desk at 6, and I go behind the desk, and I go in this little room, and I'm looking around, and sure enough, there's the passports. I take the passport, I go back. Chris has got a hoodie on, and we go out, and we go down the block, and we get in a cab. We go to the airport, and the flight's left out late at night. And so we get to the airport, and we're sweating bullets because we don't know if they've already locked his passport down or not. So I'm watching it, and he goes through security, and I know he's gone. I turn around, go back, get in the cab, go back, have him drop me off a couple of blocks from the hotel. I'm running to get in the hotel, and I haven't been in my room 20 minutes. Bam, 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 they're beating on my door. And I get up, and I'm trying to look sleepy, and I go to the door, and I open the door, and here's the police, and they're like, "Is Chris Adams here?" And I'm like, "No, why?" And then I'm a little scared because I don't know if they've already seen camera footage or what, but I was like, "No." And they're like, "Oh," they're reading me the riot act. They're talking also in Israeli. Well, then one of them gets a call on the room phone, and then he slams the phone down and he says something in Israeli, and Avi looks at me and goes, "Chris got out of the country." I said, "No."
No, you're kidding.
And so, thank God I was only there 2 more days because I was afraid I was going to get out of the country if they figured it out.
Well, here's what I also find fascinating, Kevin, is that you had this love affair, obviously, in North Texas. They're crazy about you in Israel. Japan is dying to see any of the Von Erichs wrestle. And you end up going to Beirut, Lebanon. One of the great vacation spots on the globe. What possibly, and tell me about it, what possibly possessed you to think, yeah, what I'd like to do is go to Beirut, Lebanon for the weekend?
Well, our show out there, we were being transmitted out of the CBN has it goes to Cyprus. It's what is that company? Pat Robertson has the CBN company there. It's a Middle East television, Middle East TV they call it. And they were using wrestling, our show, as a lead-in to the 700 Club because,
Seems like something they would have programmed at Channel 8.
The President Herzog told me in 1985 that the only time there was a ceasefire in Israel is when wrestling is on.
Not only that, Tom Landry goes to Israel. And the great Tom Landry, he goes to Israel. And he told us, he's telling Prince the story, he said, "Yeah, I went into a diamond store, and I got my wife with me, and we're looking, and the guy recognizes me. And he goes, 'Oh my God, you're the coach.' Landry stuck his hand out and introduced and said, 'You must know the Von Erichs.'"
Well, no night with Kevin Von Erich is complete without talking about the fabulous Freebirds. Were they really the wild bad guys, or did you guys have a role in that too?
It was all out all the time. But those guys, Terry Gordy, I gotta say, we talked about Terry for a good many years. Still on the battleship, and he was, I have to say, I respected him so much. And it was a two-way street. Now, Michael Hayes is a big talker, and he's a big struggle and all that. And I'm not going to say anything bad about him because Mike and I are friends, but Terry, I have such respect for him. And Buddy was like a crash test to him. He could take anything.
He's a psycho.
He was on the bus in Israel, on the airplane in Israel. He gets drunk and he starts screaming, "You killed Jesus! You killed Jesus!"
He's screaming at us for getting off on the tarmac.
In Israel.
In Israel.
Yeah.
I got one side of him, he's drunk. I got one arm, and Michael's got the other one, and Buddy's looking around at all the people on the tarmac, and he says, "You son of a bitches killed Jesus."
Well, let me see if I got this straight. You got one guy hollering out they killed Jesus. You got another guy kicking an eyeball out of the guy. You got a third guy stealing passports out of an office, and they still love the Von Erichs in television. Have you guys ever looked across the ring and thought, maybe our stories have gone just a little bit too far?
Yeah, I think when I saw Roscoe the Clown outside that
let me tell you a story about Kamala while we're talking about Beirut, because he was with me in Beirut that trip we're talking about. And so we get into the stadium, into the airport, and it's filled with Lebanese soldiers. And they've got their guns on us, you know, and they're acting pretty tough. They didn't like America. They liked me, but they were treating the wrestlers pretty bad. They had, you know, hundreds of gunmen. And then came the Syrian soldiers. Let me tell you, the Syrians are the boss in Lebanon. Because those Lebanese soldiers just started getting out of the way and, you know, waiting on them. You know, the Syrians are the boss over there in Lebanon. So there was this one guy, this is a little story, but there was this one guy, and I said, I was talking to all these guys, I speak English, and I said, what do you do here? He said, I grow the Hutchins. I said, oh, is that legal? He goes, no, it's not legal. Why do you grow it? We sell to Americans. And so wrestlers with the rivers they were, we're trying to talk them into put some hashish in Kamala's cigar. We're going to be with that. Anyway, nothing happened. We tried to, we couldn't do it.
Well, this whole prank thing, this is just a running theme through all of these wrestling stories. Somebody always wanted to, as you guys refer to, I think, as ribbing somebody. I call it pranking somebody. What's your favorite one when you're, other than trying to get a guy drugged up on hashish, of course?
Well, Kerry was definitely the easiest one to pull prank on.
Kerry was?
Kerry was. Tell them what,
Which one?
I'm going to tell them one with Tyler. So we wrestled down in Tyler, Texas. And Brian Blair, one of the super bigs, remember Brian? So Brian Blair's down there with us. And so Kerry has a Lincoln, but Brian's driving, so he says, we were all in on the rib. So he tells Kerry, you get in the trunk, and I'm gonna pull over to the side of the road like we're having trouble, and when everybody else pulls over, I'll honk 3 or 4 times, I'll pop the trunk, and you moon them. So Kerry's like, oh yeah. So Kerry gets in the trunk. We drive like hell to a truck stop that's on the way back. It's got a big grill window with a restaurant. They take the Lincoln and they back it up to the and everybody in the restaurant's like, what the hell? And then they pop the truck and here's Kerry's big ass. And then Kerry looked around and then he went, oh God. He's trying to pull the tub down and Brian's holding the button inside so he's just going up. And so then we're all scared as hell because Kerry's now no longer it's a rib. And so yeah. And then Prince is like, what the hell were y'all thinking?
Was it Kerry that put the toilet paper?
No, he put it in Mike.
What was this one now?
At the spot show, remember when Mike was so nervous in one of his first matches?
It was his first match. And, you know, he wanted to impress us, you know, so he was so nervous. And I don't know what it was, but they'd have some kind of a play where they had these paper mache heads. One was a big bumblebee, one was an ant with a little springs for the antenna, you know. And so this great big head there, and Mike's waiting at the door, you know, listening to his music, ready to jump out there and, you know, and start his career. And so he's waiting, and Kerry hears his music come to the spot, and he cramps that ant head on Mike and puts it on. His first match.
Another time, about a week later, Mike's still nervous because, you know, things aren't going great. And he's in the dressing room and he's getting ready to go out, and Kevin says, your jacket's not tucked in right, Mike. Jesus Christ, he's over here helping. He takes the toilet tissue roll and tucks it in the back. So the music starts, Mike goes to the ring and he's dragging toilet paper all the way out. And he doesn't realize it until he gets almost to the ring. He's like, oh God, damn.
I've had it on the butts and have a good night.
All right, let's talk about the movie coming out in December. Chevy Mustang at the same time.
Well, the Iron Claw is Silver Tongue.
But you got Zac Efron. Now, I have no idea who that is. My wife just thinks it's wrong. Is Zac Efron the right guy, or would you want somebody else to play you in this movie?
Well, my daughters love the guy. You know, I don't see a lot of movies, you know, I just don't. But, you know, I was worried about this because, you know, I love my dad so much. And the way I hold him in such high esteem, to think this kind of things you see on YouTube, they're crazy lies on there. I mean, some guys will say things that like they, you know, I don't go into it, but, and by the way, we are going to have a question and answer. You guys can ask me anything you want, and when we do ask some questions, I want to say that I held them, Carrie and me and Dave, we loved our dad so much, and I just couldn't bear for them to come out and start doing that kind of talk about him, like being shifty and greedy and all that. He was not that way at all. His handshake was a contract. It was like, he was only man.
You know, Kevin and I had talked. They had called him. He told the producers they should call me. I've been blessed with a memory that, like, you know, Kevin was around Fritz every day at home. I was around him if it was at the office, or if not. I had a beeper. Fritz got me. And it only had one person that had the number. It was Fritz. And I better call him when it beeped. But we talked about it. We're praying that the movie is good, but we don't know.
Are they giving you much ability to have some legitimate input into this or not?
Well, actually, no, I don't know a thing they're going to do.
Really?
I don't know. I have no idea. But Ross and Martha, my two sons, did go out to Louisiana where they've rebuilt the sportatorium. And they did some stunt work, you know, for the wrestling scenes. And so they'll be in there. And then my little angel niece, Holly, went out there, and she was with them. And when the actor came out, who was going to play my dad, I thought the hardest part of this would be trying to find some way to play Fritz Von Erich. I mean, any that's going to look like me, you know. But my dad, how are they going to do that? You know, I didn't think it was impossible at all. And Holly, sweet Holly, loved my father so much. It was when she saw the actor that's going to play Fritz, that's playing Fritz, she cried. I mean, she gasped, cried. And the actor that was doing it saw Holly cry, and he had tears in his eyes, and they hugged, and I thought, well, when I heard that, I think this movie is going to be something they've really tried hard on, and really poured their heart in. It might not be completely accurate, but who knows? Let's see. I don't know, but I think they're going to really pour their heart into it. And Sean Durkin, who's the producer, told me that it's a labor of love for him. He's loved the Von Erichs, and his whole life, and it's something he's wanted to do. Since he's a little boy, he's watched it. So it could be really good. They're going to let me look at it about around mid-September, so we'll see.
Sounds like a feel-good Christmas movie then, apparently. Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
You mentioned your two sons are into wrestling now, so you think wrestling is in a good place?
Yeah, I do. I love my business. I love having fun, to go to work and enjoy it. You know, and it was fun. But and I'll tell you, as far as the stress relief, it's got to be the best. I stay very cool because I have a lot of stress release.
Kevin and I do talk, you know, when we talk on the phone about the business today's world, it's, you know, I don't even know how to put it.
I can't imagine my dad put me in the ring with broken light bulbs and chairs and ladders and barbed wire wrapped on the ropes. That's not what I was.
The biggest thing we were taught, and I think many of you know, I had a wrestling background coming in, Coach Carey. That's how I actually got into business, and was fortunate enough to train Jim Duggan and Brian Diaz and some of the other guys that came in. I was the guy that was funny. We always had a rib. We would bring guys that didn't want to be a we'd have them come to the sportatorium, and I would go down and get in the ring with them and this and that. And none of them knew I had a wrestling background. And then Bronco would come down and go, what the hell, you want to get in the business? You can't even beat the referee.
So is there any chance we get a nice little three-man tag team match going with the two boys and you, one time around?
Yeah. You know, I did that in Israel. In fact, I wrestled for about almost good 20 years.
Yeah.
And then 7 years later, in 2017, or 2017, some years later, I had my last retirement match in Tel Aviv. And so that's where I put the belt over there too.
All right, you mentioned questions from the audience. Let me run through these. I'll try to get to as many of these as we can. Jacob, where are you at? Yeah. Jacob, here we go. Having been a part of the industry so long, what is it about the sport that keeps it enjoyable for so many?
Enjoyable for so many?
Good versus evil.
I think that is it, Dave. The people that are down deep, who want to see the good guy beat the bad guy, who see right, beat wrong, overcome wrong, and that's the salt of the earth. That is good people. I mean, good people that have that in them.
Rich told us one time that even during the recession, remember your dad said, even during the recession back in the days, wrestling still would sell out. And he said it's because people were so stressed out, but they came to the matches to get rid of that stress, have a beer, and root for the good guy.
But isn't also part of that seeing the bad guy win sometimes? Because then everybody's just really screaming and hollering. Is that almost the same relief to some people?
Well, the bad guy wins sometimes. That's life.
Marta G, what advice did you give your sons about wrestling when they decided to make that step?
Well, just like my dad told me, if you're going to do anything, you do it right, do it with all you've got, pour your heart into it. And so that's the Texas way.
I went down in Sherman, and the one advice I gave him was, I don't care what the promoter asks you to do, think of your health, and is there a risk you're going to get paralyzed or get hurt, or, it's not worth it. And don't be afraid to say no.
You see, word went out, our show was the top rated show. I mean, we were even had higher ratings than the WWE in New York City. And so, that was different. And so we wanted to have a different show. We loved professional football and the collisions in slow motion, and we loved rock concerts with the lasers and the music. And we combined them. We had, I'm gonna tell you, if Dave and if there were still three of us, we were gonna change the business. We would have had. You pour your heart in anything, you get out of anything when you put into it. And I mean, it's work hard, and word went out. If you want to come to Texas, you better be able to defend yourself. So the men that did come here are big stars up in New York and WWE now, but they all knew that, and most of them came from Texas. It's because we're paid well and let's earn it. That's why we looked at it.
Joe G, where you at? Joe? Do your daughters wrestle? Would you want your daughter to wrestle?
No. I don't have anything against ladies' sports, but not for my daughters. They're pretty and soft.
Chandra North. Chandra, do you ever know what happened to Sunshine or Precious here?
Yes. Precious is still married to Jimmy Garvin. And we just saw Jimmy, by the way. We just did a thing for The Rock. Some of you probably saw it. We were out in California for Tales of the Territories. And me, Kevin, Brian, and Diaz, and Jimmy Garvin. And he's still married to Precious. He's retired pilot from United. Sunshine, we all wish we could talk to Sunshine every now and then, but she just kind of disappeared. And the rumor is she lives up in Florida, and she doesn't really want the limelight.
I don't understand that concept.
Just like in Israel, they had who's the most beautiful woman in the world? Farrah Fawcett came in second. Sunshine won it.
Freebirds and then inducting them into the Hall of Fame? Inducting the Freebirds into the Hall of Fame. Did you induct them?
Yeah, that's right. I did.
Made the biggest impression on you, apparently.
But, you know, they're guys that rose to the top. They aced what they wanted to do. They became, you know, the Freebirds were great, but I don't want to take anything away from Chris Adams and Gino Hernandez, too. We did all the time about the Freebirds and Von Erichs, but, you know, Chris Adams and Gino, Chris was tough. Chris could fight real well.
Not only that, Kevin probably agree with this. The number one hill, when you bring back the days of the past and you start talking, that they bring up is Kabuki.
He was. I remember he kicked me one time. And wrestling, you should never turn your back on your opponent, you know. Because when the guy turns his back on you, you know, that's what we all say. If we're going to take somebody out, then we get behind them. You know, when you get behind somebody, you can do anything. You can't be stopped. Well,
Kabuki.
yeah. He spins his kick at me, and as he does it, and I've never wrestled him before. In fact, there was no such thing as a super kick. This is just Kabuki turned his back on me, and I went to step in, and so I thought, oh, you idiot! And so I went to step in, and he came around with that kick like that, and broke my cheekbone, knocked me goofy, and I remember, and so I'm in the ring, and I was like, I just woke up. I said, the kids and the people, I said, they're in my house. I've been knocked out. And so, but it was my dad came in, and the match had been over. You know, and Dad, I went to the camera, and Dad said, look at this. Didn't hurt a bit. I said, it felt great.
Wes Thacker is sitting right here in the front row. He wants to know if you have any memories of Abilene. And is it true that you wrestled Kerry there once?
Wrestled
Kerry?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well, the Freebirds didn't show up. And, it's either give the money back or wrestle each other. And so we said, Dad, what do we do? Give the money back or what? He goes, wrestle each other.
Hey, hang on, the best story about Abilene, Kevin and I were just talking about this downstairs. The bear, they brought the bear in to wrestle in Abilene, and so they got the cage around the ring, you know, so the bear can't get to the fans. And unfortunately, I had to referee the bear many times, and it was always scary because you never knew what the bear was going to do. But when the match was over, there was a routine. When the match was over, the bear would get in a chair, the guy would take the muzzle off, and he would give him a Coke. And he would drink the Coke. Match is over, leave the bear alone. So the promoter in Abilene was Don Slatton. And we're in the dressing room, and Don Slatton goes, I'm gonna slap that bear.
He said, I think
I can whoop the bear. And he goes down, he's the promoter, they're cheering him on, he goes in, and he goes in the ring, and he slaps the Coke out of the bear's hand.
that bear. You see, it's fun to watch him have wrestle the bear because the bear is really played. Well,
I did it twice, by the way.
Now Don Slatton found out.
so Don, he wants the people, you know, he wants to give the people a good show, and he slaps the bear. And that bear's folded back. And he came at Don like a fullback and hit him with paw, and Slatton flew over the rope into about the third or fourth row, and the chair slid back too. And I guess, you know, he must have knocked him out for a minute because he figured that the bear would, you know, it's over now, but that bear, those ears were still back, and he was running. The bear was holding the chain, was dragging him.
Me and the owner got the chain trying to hold him, and he's dragging us.
Yeah. Anyway, so the bear gets Slatton again, and so Slatton, this time he runs like a jackrabbit. He chained the bear to the toilet, and Slatton's car is parked outside the dressing room, where on the side where the bear was. And so Slatton has to go by the dressing room, and the bear is chained to the toilet. That bear smelled Slatton and tore that toilet out on the wall.
Oh, this has to take you back a bit. What would happen? This is from Danny Zinkin, is it, Danny? Danny? What would happen to the unfortunate souls who decided to attack the wrestlers at the Sportatorium? Those security guards were serious about protecting the wrestlers, I guess, back then, were they not?
Well, it was that, and see, Kev was a baby face, so we had a rule. If someone jumped in the ring, we made an example out of it. But Kev was a baby face. He couldn't attack a fan, but see, I could.
Referee. Yeah.
No, we had a guy jump on Buddy one night, and I think it's Kevin against Buddy, and the guy jumped on Buddy on the back, and boy, I just...
Wait. This is a fan in the crowd.
Yeah, he came running, but we never saw him. He came over the rope, came through the rope, and jumped on Buddy, and I think he left with a cauliflower, because I waffled him about 4 times in the year. And but most of the time with the heel, if the heel knows they're coming, I saw Killer Brooks one night in San Antonio.
Yeah.
He beat a guy up so bad, and then the guy had a big old buck knife on the side, and Brooks took it and opened it up, and then handed it to the guy and said, "Pull that on me so I can really hurt you."
Do you ever have a guy jump in the ring when you were in a match?
Well, you know, I don't get mad easy, to tell the truth. I mean, I can, but if they jump in the ring, they're trying to help me out. I don't have any animosity.
All right, this is the question I was looking for. I believe this is from, I can't read it. Game, I think was it. Will the Cowboys ever win another Super Bowl?
They should have got Tom Brady.
Here's the bottom line. You all had great questions. I'm sorry I couldn't get to all of them, but you had a bunch of good questions. I think we've talked about everything possible, but I ripped this off from Stephen Colbert. It's one of my favorite bits he does, to really get to know you. I mean, I think we've talked a lot about your life. We talked about your family. We talked about the good and the bad. We talked about your father. We talked about your world travels. But there's still 8 questions that, without question, will identify you so that the audience will know you better. Are you ready, sir? This will be very easy to do. Number 1, what do you listen to on the car radio?
Oh, well, do radios even work anymore? You've got to have an iPhone and know how to But when I did have a radio, I liked Motown, to tell the truth. Also, I liked rock. I remember
Little Stranglehold.
and you know, that was, when it came to music, I picked the music for the brothers, but not for Kerry, or actually Dave both did that too, but Kerry picked Rush. But Dave didn't get that, you know, we wanted a violent sounding song that had started interesting and then had a crescendo, you know, of explosion of sound and, you know, that get you jazzed up, you know.
Hang on real quick, Deb, because I know you're going to ask those questions. Reunion Radio, you know, was right across from the Sportatorium, right? So Rush is there playing, and Kerry and I, we finish up and we get in and we go over, and security always let us come in and go backstage. So Rush is on, they're playing, and they find out Kerry is in backstage. And they send word back, we're about to play Tom Sawyer, tell Kerry to come out. Tom Sawyer starts, and then Kerry walks out and they went ballistic.
Has a movie or a TV show ever made you cry?
Probably so.
Brian Saw, yeah, that's a tearjerker. That's a tearjerker. Football movie from the Chicago Bears days. Yeah. Are you a guy that cries much at all?
No, I guess that's not a gift I have. You know, I haven't tried, but I'll tell you. Oh darn, Bill, I can't think of anything funny about that.
Brian's song is a good one.
Yeah, Brian's song's great. You lived in Hawaii for about 18 years, so is it acceptable to put pineapple on a pizza? Will you put like radishes on a cake then too, or what? Pineapple, seriously, you put pineapple on a pizza?
Yeah, I eat pineapple on everything. I love pineapple. The toilet paper in your house, over or under? I don't think I ever checked on that.
If I put you in a time capsule, would you like to go to the past or to the future? Where? Any place in particular?
Well, you know, I love wildlife, and I'd love to be able to hunt back in the days. We had all sorts of, everything around Hawaii. Hawaii had a big flightless bird, like a dodo bird. And there's all sorts of cool animals that are just extinct now. And I wish that,
But what do you say? You'd go back and shoot them before they or you were trying to save them? What are you trying to tell me?
I don't know. It's what it is about me. I just like to catch them. And I'll tell you, you bring me up. I was in with Alma Drill going down to Harlingen one night, and we're from Harlingen to Corpus Christi, and we're coming across that big King's Ranch, and a cat runs out in front of us, and some kind of yellow, funny-looking cat, and Al hit it, and I said, Al, go back, and because this cat had leopard spots on him. We went back, and there it was laying in the road. Its back was broken, but its eyes were blinking, and it was alive. And it was an ocelot, like a small jaguar. And I put it in my lap, and I was just petting it all the way to Corpus Christi. And he died about halfway back, but
They carry a shot with a BB gun, I think.
So I put him in the trunk, and it was freezing cold that night. And by the time we got to Corpus, there was he was frozen solid in the trunk. So I got my bag out, and I got the cat out, and I held him like this. I leaned him against a tree, and I said, stay.
Kevin and I, we had a competition about catching poisonous snakes. And so I'm down at my deer leagues, and I literally caught a rattlesnake, right? So I take some pictures of me holding the rat. It's alive, and I got pictures of it. So up until that time, I was winning. And then he calls me from Costa Rica. I'm sending you a picture. I just caught a fur lance. That's like one of the most deadliest snakes in the world. And he caught a fur lance and sends me a picture. I said, okay, you one-up me. I don't know if I'm going to top that one. I'd have to get a black mamba.
I would imagine in your travels, this may or may not be an interesting answer. Is there a celebrity that you have not but would like to meet?
Well, yeah. I remember as a little boy, I read Roger Staubach's book, First Down, Lifetime to Go. I admire him for a long time.
You haven't met Roger Staubach?
No, I never have. My daughter's working with him in Frisco, but I haven't.
Wait a minute. Roger, good. I can call him on the way home tonight if you'd like to meet him. Give me the time of day, but Roger and I are like that. Yeah, I thought you were big time. You really have never met Roger Staubach?
No, I'm also a big fan of Charlie Waters and Cliff Harris. I've met them a few times, but Roger Staubach's one I haven't ever met.
Oh, we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that. And I think I know your answer, but I want to hear it, and I'm pretty sure this crowd does. What happens to us when we die?
Well, as far as, I'd love to be a good influence on everyone. Hell is eternity, and when I look at somebody, to love I see a little baby, a little boy or a little girl, then I can love anybody. But y'all got to look in their eyes, and that's what Jesus. We need to treat each other and put ourselves behind and put others ahead of ourselves, like he did.
Describe your life. Describe your life in 5 words.
Describe my life in 5 words.
Judy Patootie!
Chaotic
Yeah, I imagine.
and peaceful. Now, I'll tell you, I've never been happier in my life. I'm happy every day.
I think that's 21 words right there.
I can't do it.
Would you do it all over again? If you could, do you have any regrets? Would you like to do it all over again?
You know, there's some things that were terrible that happened, but you know what? If they hadn't have happened to me, I wouldn't have gotten the insight from overcoming something. I'd be remiss if I lived my life and avoided the things that directed me to this day.
The Von Erich legacy continues, ladies and gentlemen, with his 2 boys, Marshall and Ross. Kevin Von Erich, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to record it. Why do you have to walk so fast? Why are you trying to walk so fast? You don't got it right now.
Far away from the crowds.
There's a ton of crowds around here. That was good.
That was good.
Yeah. Party bus. You take the party bus. Yeah, we're in the second one. Yeah, check it out.
Hey guys, it's Jonathan with Wrestling Talking and Shopping. We just finished up the evening with Kevin Von Erich. It was good. I really didn't learn anything from that I didn't already know, which I don't know what my expectations were, you know. But he didn't mention Chris Von Erich at all. You know, even it's like maybe his memory, maybe he's getting older. I don't know, you know. But you know, I've always kept those guys. I look at them, I think they're still the same age as they were in the 80s, and they're not, you know. But I mean, I would do it again. I would purchase it. It was good. I enjoyed getting to see him. but he just didn't seem like his memory was what it should be. And they didn't really tell a whole lot of wrestling stories. It was more, I don't know, more, but I enjoyed it and I would do it again. And I mean, I love the Von Erichs. I'm from Texas, and you know, everybody know they're demons. They're it's highly documented, you know, what they were. And of course, he's not gonna, you know, and I don't expect him to say anything bad about his father or whatnot, and you know, because I wouldn't talk about my dad either. But I enjoyed it, and it was good. And like I said, he plugged the movie coming out, and we'll see, you know, what the movie says. But we all know their story. Their story is highly documented. I just thought maybe I would learn some wrestling stories, and it just didn't seem like there was much wrestling talk. But like I said, I enjoyed it, and we're gonna post it, and I hope y'all enjoy it. Thank you.